speak your mind. Don't be afraid to speak your mind.
Do you feel like you have a free space?
Take a drink for that one.
All the time.
All the time?
All the time.
Are you speaking with women or just for
both?
Just
like,
as a human being.
You know, and to be honest, I had to build it within myself. You know, I was trying to have it with women first and then have it with myself. So once I got it within myself, it kind of came just natural with women. You know, or just my one man. You know, however, I'm just speaking hypothetically. Yeah.
I feel free, but it ain't free like I would want it to be. Like, I fight for that freedom, like, daily, you feel me? Like, just with all relationships or whatever, like, and yeah, it ain't a free and a authentic as I would want it to be. Like,
no, I don't feel free. I live in America. Nothing about this land feel free. I wake up, I pay every day for that air. I don't know. I feel that way though.
Just to say something about Trey, when you say you don't feel free, what and enlighten me, kind of shed a little light on it, like what
Because like growing up and stuff.
What don't you feel
You said Trey,
like it's free about you?
yeah, just like my relationship. We gonna start relationships. You feel me? Like I have to act a certain way for my relationships to go a certain way. You know, like that ain't freedom. That's me fighting for it to go a certain way, or like even like my living. You feel me? Like I gotta go to work and act a certain way to be free and shit. You feel me? So that shit, it ain't really all the way free for me. Like it ain't all the way there how I would see it. You know, like it just being around the environment of nothing expecting. You feel me? Like nobody expecting of anything.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, but are we speaking more so towards the state of mind, or are we talking more so towards the literal sense?
I was speaking
I was
literally.
about to say mentally, I
Mentally,
definitely
yeah, you
feel
can be free.
but I mean at the same time,
Physically, there's still
the
rules
physical
and laws
aspects
out here.
kind of, you know, I think it corresponds. You know, you can be mentally free all you want, but then you still got to handle what's in front of you. You know, your reality. Sometimes when you have the things you can't control, kind of messes with you. You got to learn to focus on the things you can, and that's what allows you to achieve if you're free. You know.
As a state of mind, freedom depends on the mood we in most cases. Because if we're in a state of grievance, we feel the most alone, which means that we trap our emotions in a way that allows us not to see things for what they are, but rather for what we feel them to be. And I think restriction by feelings is some of the most, you know what I'm saying, caged in feeling you can ever feel. Because in actuality, the closer we become to being children, you know, we think about how we had no emotions outside of happiness and it's sometimes anger. Honestly, the extreme happy or extreme mad, we was either laughing about it or we was crying about it. But when you start to tangle with all of the strong emotions like love and you did grievance and sadness and things like that, you start to think about status of depression. You think about all these things that you could be captivated by or manipulated by and not even realize it until you start to understand what freedom is.
Right.
And once you start unpacking those things and certain levels of trauma, then we become more free, as I can say.
Unloading them.
Yeah, because in actuality, you can be grounded with things that you didn't know weighed you down.
Right.
And once you realize, you feel a certain level of lift off. Have y'all ever
That's that.
released some anger or spoke to somebody you ain't spoke to in a while and you realize you felt a weight lifted off you?
Yeah.
But the whole time you didn't know the weight was weighing on you
Because you've been holding something against
because you've been holding it for so
You've
long.
been holding it long. You ain't even know
It's
it.
just like when you go home, you know, and then you have a backpack on all day. Sometimes you forget that backpack was on you because you ain't feel it. You got used to the feeling of having someone weighing you down. But once you lift it off, it's like, it's a sense of relief that you didn't even know that you had. But me personally, I don't know if I feel free. For the last 4 or 5 years, I done lost somebody every year. And I'm actually going home this weekend because my grandma is not in a good state. And I want to be able to, you know, go see her before that time comes. My auntie just died in January, so I think I'm more so caged by my emotions. And being able to express that to her, you know, your partner is not easy because they understand that when you're the strong friend, everything seems to be okay, which in fact it is, but you got to make it that way. And sometimes we need help and don't know how to ask for it.
piggybacking off that, and that's kind of what I mean. Like, I fight for that freedom, you know, like just certain relationship and stuff. Like, you gotta uphold them a certain way, you know, like that ain't all the way freedom for me.
Yeah. I kind of learned like not to expect much from people, or just from situations, or hope for the best, expect the worst, kind of. And
That's what I live by.
and that's how I kind of gotta live.
I expect
now.
the worst and hope for the best.
And hope for everything to go to the best, because I set so much high expectations in my head of what I wanted, and I let myself down because just because it's something I want, it might be not something that she wants, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like unforeseen projections. Like
Right.
you project this certain image in your mind, and you believe that that's going to be the outcome, and that's not what it's going to be.
That's not what it is.
But you know what's crazy? When you use your mindset to gear it towards more so the negative, you like, dang, it really wasn't that bad. Like when you was a kid and you got ready to go take shots, you like, man, you think about the needle just shooting through your arm or something. Like you think the worst thing, and then when you come to it and they just sting, you like, oh, that was cool. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.